Hello, what's going on everybody? Welcome back to another video. Today, I figured to go onto the tier maker list yet again. Last time I went on this site, I graded every single European team that already qualified for the World Cup or is still in contention to qualify for the World Cup. And this time we're going to be doing the exact same thing, except with the Asian national teams. A lot of advancements in their World Cup qualifiers have been made this week during this international break. There's still a lot to be determined for the next break, but we already found out two teams that have already qualified. Congratulations to Iran and South Korea for making it to Qatar this year. Now, as you can see on the tier maker site, I didn't include every single team. That's because the same rules apply as my European video. I have only selected the Asian teams that are already qualified for the World Cup or still in contention to do so. For those of you that don't know what's just happened in the Asia World Cup qualifiers, like I said, Iran and South Korea have just qualified. They're in the same group in their qualifier run, looking very threatening in the World Cup qualifiers, both undefeated as of now. The United Arab Emirates is in third, and the third place team for the Asian World Cup qualifiers means they have to go to an extra playoff round. And all the other teams are still in the race to qualify just for that playoff spot though, except for Syria. Syria has been eliminated, no wins in this tournament. Iraq also hasn't got any wins, but they have 5 points while Syria has 2. Sorry Syria, but good luck to the rest of the teams in the qualifiers. In Group B, the situation is entirely different. None of the teams have directly qualified as of now. The bottom 3 teams, Oman, China, and Vietnam, all have been eliminated, while first, second, and third, Saudi Arabia, Japan, and Australia have all at least made it to the next playoff round, but none of them have directly qualified yet. So for all those 3 teams, they're on the right track, somewhat. They had a few slip-ups in this international break. Saudi Arabia actually could have qualified today. They had a massive match against Japan, which they lost in 2-0. That match would have guaranteed them automatic qualification for the World Cup. But Japan is obviously a massive side, so it wasn't a huge surprise. Australia also kind of slipped in this qualifier break. They drew to Oman 2-2. Obviously, if they won that match, the point gap wouldn't be that far off from Japan. So yeah, with all of that explained, as you can see, the only teams we're going to be going over in this video are Iran, Iraq, Japan, South Korea, Lebanon, Australia, Saudi Arabia, and the United Arab Emirates. Keep in mind, this isn't necessarily a full-on prediction video. It is still very early to predict the World Cup. We don't even know the groups yet. This is just a general thought of how far I think this team can potentially go. In the Europe one, I highly ranked a lot of teams. I'm not sure how well it will go for Asia. Unfortunately, no disrespect or offense to Asia. It's just I see a lot more European national teams making it to the final, semi-final, and all that compared to the Asian national teams. But with all that said, this video is just for fun. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below, what I got right, what I got wrong. And I'll always be going into depth with some more than others. But yeah, let's just jump into it. Starting off with Australia. Obviously, Australia isn't geographically a part of Asia, but they're obviously playing in the Asian qualifiers. In recent times, Australia has been successful in the qualifiers. Since 2006, they've made it to every single World Cup so far. This could be the one where they don't make it. In 2006, they made it to the round of 16. But then in 2010, 2014, and 2018, they unfortunately crashed in the group stage. I have so much love for Australia, so I genuinely hope the best for them in this tournament if they make it, obviously. Obviously, their goalkeeper, who currently plays for Real Sociedad, is pretty famous, Ryan, as he's had exposure to the Premier League. And then you got the legend Aaron Moy, who currently plays for Shanghai Port FC, so we don't hear about him much anymore. But I'll never forget his moments at Huddersfield and Brighton. You got Dom Rogic, their attacking midfielder who plays for Celtic. Aydin Hrustic, who currently plays in Frankfurt. But the rest of the players are kind of under the radar, mostly because most of them play for clubs in Australia. But you've got the likes of Jamie McLaren, who's gotten 5 goals in 8 matches so far. Forgot to mention him earlier, but also a decently well-known player is Matthew Leckie, who used to play in the Bundesliga, but now he's returned to the A-League himself, currently playing for Melbourne City. If Australia qualifies for Qatar, do I think they could pass the group stage this time after not being able to pass it for 3 consecutive years? I hate to be cruel to Australia because I only want the best for this side, but I'm going to put them at the group stage, unfortunately. I see them at best getting in third. Also, their inconsistent moments in the World Cup qualifiers has me somewhat leading to this. They also don't have the likes of the brilliant Tim Cahill anymore. I'm sorry, Australia. Please prove me wrong. Next up, we're going with Iran. Every single World Cup Iran has been in, they have failed to make it out of the group stage. Will this be the first time they can do so? Personally, I think yes. I think this is one of the best Iranian sides we have seen in a very, very long time. They absolutely crushed the World Cup qualifiers so far. Not to mention, in Russia 2018, they got very unlucky to not make it to the next round. They were in third with 4 points, while Portugal had 5. They had a very impressive win against Morocco, and then against Spain and Portugal, it was close. They drew with Portugal 1-1 and Spain only beat them 1-0. Iran was one of the most exciting sides to watch in the group stage that didn't make it to the next round in Russia. And a huge reason by my stance on that is because of their goalkeeper. Made some absolutely ridiculous saves in this tournament. Not to mention he saved a Cristiano Ronaldo penalty. Recently, Iran have been utilizing their other goalkeepers as well, so they clearly got some other decent options. In 2018, Iran still looked dangerous when they went for the counter-attacking plays, but now I think they can actually put things together as their strike force looks better than ever. You've got Taremi from Porto. Yeah, that guy. Remember he scored a bicycle kick against Chelsea in the Champions League? But another amazing player, and these guys can form a terrific partnership in Qatar, is Sardar Azmoun. This guy's made a lot of history at Zenit, but now he has just signed for Bayer Leverkusen. It was a massive transfer, and this guy's absolutely dangerous. One of the most composed strikers I've been seeing recently. The nerves look like they just don't get to him. Honestly, to me, one of the more dangerous strikers in 2022. But another huge talking point about the Iranian national team is their coach, Dragan Skocic. Oh, you're probably hyping this guy up because he's from Croatia. Maybe, but he has been terrific for the Iranian national team. I mean, they just look like an absolute unit right now, even when they rotate the squad around, consistently winning games. In this World Cup qualifier run, they're at first with 7 wins and 1 draw. And obviously they're looking better on paper than their other teams in this group, apart from South Korea maybe. But Dragan Skocic has been getting a lot of praise from Iran, as people have been saying they have never seen a more energetic Iranian team gel together. My Iran explanation was going to be longer than any other team in this video because I have a lot of high hopes for them in Qatar this year. I actually think they have a great chance to make it out of the group stage this time. They were so unlucky last time, and now I think they have the ingredients for success to make it to the knockouts. And I think, depending on who they get in the round 16s, they could potentially pass that round as well. I want to be super generous and say semifinals, but I don't know if I can put any team in the semifinals in this video. Obviously, they can prove me wrong, and I think if any of the teams is going to do it, it'll be Iran. But I'm going to leave them at the quarterfinals. That would still be a massive result for the Iranian national team. Much improvement compared to their previous success. And yeah, like I said, they're looking better than ever. Good luck to them in Qatar. I sent a lot of love to Australia, but I'm sending a lot of love to Iran too because, yeah, Dragan Skocic and their squad's looking very exciting. Next up, Iraq. Iraq currently have no wins in the World Cup qualifiers so far. They're barely hanging on to finish the fight. Maybe they can turn things around in the last international break, grab the wins, make it to that 3rd place spot. And if they pull it off and qualify for Qatar, I still think they're going to finish in the group stage. I'm sorry. They obviously have some decent players. Their forward Mohamed Ali plays in Greece. Bashar currently plays for club level in Qatar. Oh yeah, I actually forgot about this guy, Zidane. He plays for Manchester United. But I don't think he can make a difference in Qatar if they make it. Yeah, sorry Iraq. I got to leave you at the group stage. Next up, Japan. Like I mentioned, Japan haven't fully qualified yet, but they're looking like they're en route to do so. And we can't forget about the last World Cup where Japan had a very exciting match against Belgium, finishing 3-2 in the round of 16s. They've had a very back and forth history with their World Cup process though. Korea, Japan, round of 16. Germany, group stage. South Africa, round of 16. Brazil, group stage. 2018, round of 16s. If we're following that pattern, it's going to be group stage in Qatar, but I'm not going to base it off that. I think they can actually potentially break that pattern. Definitely depending on their group though. I think it will be definitely very tough for them and they'll cut it close. Obviously, Takumi Minamino has been one of the bigger talking points of the national team. But you still got Yuto Nagatomo in the defense, 35 years of age and still playing. You got Wataru Endo in the Bundesliga. Ito playing on Genk. Maya Yoshida, who's had some Premier League history at Southampton, but now taking over the defensive role in the Premier League for the Japanese national team, is Tomiyasu on Arsenal. Very decent squad that I could see a lot of people writing off, honestly. I might as well, but as of now, I think they can make it out of the group stage. How far after that, though? It's tough, but I could see them crashing in the round of 16s. If they get lucky, maybe the quarterfinal, but round of 16 seems more realistic to me. Definitely up to preference. They could have a very hard group and get knocked out of the group stage. I think they got what it takes to make it out though. Now moving on to South Korea. As stated earlier, they've gotten no losses in the World Cup qualifier run so far. They haven't even been playing Human Sun recently, and they're still pulling off the results. Without a doubt, this squad has a lot of depth. In recent history, South Korea haven't been doing very well in the World Cup. They got knocked to the group stage in Brazil and Russia. But in Russia, we did see them beat Germany, which was obviously a very unforgettable match, the match that sent them home. Their other matches, though, they lost to Sweden 1-0 from a penalty, and then they lost to Mexico 2-1 after Human Sun scored a last-minute goal. I think South Korea has potential to make it interesting. Similar situation to Japan. I think it definitely depends on their group. Round of 16 or quarterfinals for me, depending on how generous we want to be. I'm going to get hate on this video because I'm doing a lot of these teams dirty, but based on recent history, we don't see many of the Asian teams going super far. If I want to be generous, I could see them making it all the way to the quarterfinals. I have more faith in Iran doing that, and I could see South Korea kind of crashing. Round of 16s for me. I can't be too generous. Honestly, as of now, I would have more faith in Iran going further than South Korea. Next up, Lebanon. Now, Lebanon did get one win in these World Cup qualifiers so far, and it was against Syria, finishing 3-2, a thrill of a match, but like I said, that's their only win. 3 draws and 4 losses. Look, I'm sorry, Lebanon, but I'm not going to go into too much depth with you guys. I'm going to be realistic and say group stage. Good luck, qualify for Qatar, but the odds of you making it past the group stage are pretty low. Now for Saudi Arabia. Now, Saudi Arabia in these World Cup qualifiers, they could have automatically qualified in this World Cup break, but like I said, they got that loss to Japan 2-0. That was their first loss in the entire World Cup qualifier run. In 1998, 2002, and 2006, this side made it to the group stage. We didn't see them in the tournament in 2010 or 2014 though. And in 2018, another group stage crash, but we did see them grab a win against Egypt. They got smashed by Russia in the opening match though. I definitely think this side has potential to grab a win here or there in this tournament, and possibly making it to the knockout rounds. Really depends on their group though. I feel like they'll be a massive underdog in this. The determination could truly be there, and I could see Saudi Arabia possibly making it out of that group stage. They have a lot of decent players. Salem Al-Dawsari is the first one that comes to mind for me. But overall, a lot of their players are under the radar, and that is due to the fact that they play for clubs in Saudi Arabia. Depending on their group, I think they have the potential to make it out, and I will put them in the round of 16s. I would love to see them tell a story and make it to the quarterfinal or even the semis or even the final. I still have more faith in Iran doing more damage than them. The United Arab Emirates, also a neighboring country to Qatar, so motivation could be there, but we don't know if they'll make it to the World Cup yet. Their third place spot is definitely not secured either. I don't think this will be that much of a surprise, but they could have a story where I say they have motivation to do well in this, but group stage for me. I nearly signed off of this video forgetting to include the hosts themselves, Qatar. I was so focused on the teams that were actually in the Asian qualifiers that, yeah, I just embarrassingly forgot to include them. Obviously, these guys are the hosts of the World Cup, so that's a huge advantage. It means they're going to be in the first seed of the draw, which means they could potentially get not an easy group, but definitely have a better chance getting out of the group stage. And I think they definitely have potential making it out of the group stage. They've also gotten a decent amount of exposure during the World Cup qualifier group stages for Europe. Particularly in Group A, they've gotten to play a lot of the teams there. There also was the Arab Cup that took place in Qatar, and they finished third in that. I'm going to say round of 16s. I could see them crashing there. They'll come up against a very good team, and it will be unlucky for them. I definitely think the team will have motivation, though, to not get knocked down easily. It's not like it will be a blowout in the round of 16s. I think they'll make it close. And that's my list, guys. Obviously, we don't have as many teams as Europe, but I still hope you enjoyed this video. I would definitely not underestimate the Asian teams in Qatar this year. And like I said, the one I'm definitely keeping my eye on is Iran this year. No, not just because the coach is Croatian. I genuinely think they can make a difference here. Quarterfinals may be a stretch, but this is their opportunity to make it out of the group stage. Guys, if you enjoyed this video, please hit that like button. Like I said, let me know your thoughts on this ranking in the comments below. Thank you for making it to the end. I'll see you all very, very soon. Take care. La noche.